I'm so excited for you guys to hear their stories. So I went ahead and clicked record just so I could have the recording as well. So before we start off, like tonight's whole event obviously is about indoor gardening. I just want you guys to teleport back to this time last year. And I just want you guys to think, what were you looking forward to in that year ahead? What life plans had you made? And chances are, maybe your hopes for 2020 didn't go as exactly as planned. Maybe there were some unexpected blessings. But now that we've kind of adjusted to our new normal, this year, 2021, is the perfect time to really focus on you and be the best you can be. And one of the foundations of hitting our goals and kind of putting intentions on the new year is to foster the right mindset and create an environment that helps keep your momentum going through the ups and downs. And so I'm so grateful to be a part of this amazing panel tonight. And hopefully you guys are inspired in some way, shape, or form. If 2020 taught us anything, it's the importance of friends and family, as well as the value of a strong support system. So for us to grow as individuals, it's important to surround ourselves with people just who lift us up, surround ourselves physically or virtually with people who are going to hold us accountable and motivate us to be better. So unfortunately, with the lockdowns, depending on where you're at in the world, office closures and social distancing enforced, keeping in touch can be so challenging. And I love Zoom that we get to just come together tonight. So tonight, you're just getting a small glimpse of our community. And in 2020 alone, we had over 25,000 brand new partners join us on this mission of inspiring healthy living and sharing Tower Gardens with others. And so we are so happy that you're here, that someone took the time to invite you into this Facebook event that within 48 hours, we've had over 700 people invited. And tonight we're gonna cover why this Tower Garden and growing system is so unique, how it works, why others are growing or what others are growing, and of course, how they're making an impact in more ways than our diet. And you're hopefully gonna be really surprised by some of the things. So thank you so much for showing up tonight. I have been a part of this community for 7 going on 8 years, and I absolutely love hearing people's stories, and I love how we make an impact with this Tower Garden. And so first, I'm gonna start off by introducing my mom. She is a biology teacher, she's a high school teacher, and also teaches at the community college here. We are in the St. Louis area, so we're in Missouri, and I know we have some other people in different cities and states too. So I love that we can all come together tonight. And Mom, I'm gonna pass it to you so that you can share your story and share how this Tower Garden works, what is it, and why it's so unique. So take it away.
Okay, hi everybody. I am Adrienne, and I'll just tell you a little bit about how I got introduced to the Tower Garden. I don't know, probably about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I went to a little event at someone's house who was using the gardens, growing indoors actually. And she had it set up in her basement, and she talked about how she used to have raised beds in her yard and how they got rid of all the raised beds and they pretty much grew everything aeroponically. And what I liked the most was how she said there was no pulling of weeds. And so I started looking into it a little bit. And I think what I like most, Emily mentioned, I'm a biology teacher, and one of the units I teach is environmental. And we talk a lot about how our soil is depleted. And when we get our food from wherever it's grown, it may be shipped here or trucked here. We don't know how fresh it is, how much nutrition we're actually getting from that food. I'm an early morning person, and I won't say the grocery store. I was at a local grocer here recently, and I noticed that someone in the produce department had all of the greens on a cart, and they were literally shaving the bottom where things had gotten rusty, shaving that off, putting it back on the shelf, using the misters to make things plump up and look fresh. But I'm not really sure how fresh it was or how much nutrition was still in it. So what I love about the Tower Garden, it is the most nutrient dense food we can get. The mineral blend that Juice Plus has a patent on was worked on with NASA Who Grows Food in Space. So it is the best blend to get the most growth, plant growth, and nutrient dense food that we can get. And you take it right from your tower to your table. It does not get any fresher than that. So that's very important to me. And then also just the idea that it uses 98% less water. There are water shortages everywhere, not including the United States. And then the space, you can grow so much food in such a small amount of space. And now with the indoor grow garden, even less space, you can be in a small apartment, you can use it on your patio, you can use it just about anywhere that you have, I don't know, 5 square feet around, and it just grows up 20 plants vertically. It's pretty awesome. So if you don't know how that system works, the drum holds some water, there's a pump. It pumps the water up, it rains down on the roots. So the roots are getting moisture and air, hence called aeroponics. It's a pretty awesome system. So it also grows about 3 times faster than traditional gardening. So those are some of the things environmentally that I like about it. But I also went, I don't know, probably around 5 years ago to listen to a speaker named Stephen Ritz talk about how he was using tower gardens in his classroom. And I got really inspired by him. He won a Global Teacher Award. He's a teacher in the Bronx. The children that he worked with didn't know where their food came from, didn't know what seeds were. And just what I saw from what he taught these children and where they came from and what he brought them up to, I was like, if he can do all of that, I can take this into my classroom in O'Fallon, Missouri. And I did. And one of the first years I took my garden in my classroom, I live in an area where there's a lot of kids whose parents and family are farmers. And one girl came in and she was like, what is that plastic contraption in your classroom? And I was like, it's a garden. And she's like, there's no way you're going to grow food in that. And I was like, okay, come to Tower Garden Club. She ended up being our president of Tower Garden Club. And she spoke at a school board meeting and just really got very involved with our mission, which is we grow food, we educate kids on how, alternative ways of farming. We have salad bar parties, we have smoothies that we add greens to, and we give food to our food bank at our school, which I've had personal notes from children. I don't know who it goes to. I just know that some of the kids that have sent notes to Tower Garden Club that were like, all we ever get is boxed and canned goods. I'm a vegetarian. Getting these fresh greens means so much to me. I can't express how grateful I am. So those kind of things have just been, just amazing. So, and then just the kids that I get that come to Tower Garden Club, we have kids that are in sports and music and in the school plays and have all kinds of talents. And sometimes I get the kids that just really don't have anywhere else to go, but they come in and they, it lights their heart on fire. They love doing something good for other people. And they just have a fun time with it. I have kids come back and tell me that, they missed Tower Garden Club. It was their favorite thing in high school. I had a girl go on, she's doing plant research. It just story after story. It's made such a positive impact on so many different lives. And that I'm very proud of that. So that's kind of my little story. So Lindsay, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. And I love that story too, because my daughter's school here actually has 2 tower gardens, and I completely agree. The kids absolutely love them. But so anyways, hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay, and I live here in New Jersey with my husband and our 4 daughters. They are 10, 8, 6.5, and 4.5. And if you had met me 3 years ago, you would have seen a tired, run down, and isolated stay-at-home mom with chronic migraines. Not only was I not my best self, but 2 of my girls were chronically sick. Back then, I had a friend who cared enough about me to share what we call the Healthy Living Revolution. And it's through this close-knit and fun community where I started to learn more about the importance of whole food nutrition and what it can really do for our health. So since adding more plants to my diet, as well as our concentrated plant powders and our vegan omegas, I'm happy to say that I have so much more energy and mental clarity. And I haven't had a migraine in almost 3 years. But my biggest win of all is that I have never seen my kids healthier than where they are right now in their health. It's also through this community where I was introduced to the Tower Garden. So I am actually going to flip my screen and show you where mine is. And everything that Adrienne had said is correct. This is my dining room, and my Tower Garden sits right in my dining room. How cute is that? I am an amateur gardener, I will say. There are things that I grow that die, and there are things that I grow that do amazingly well. Right now, my main purpose is growing kale for my smoothies. These are a few different types of my kale. And you can see right where I eat from it. I cut what I need and it just continues to grow. Here are our plant powders. So whatever I'm missing in my beautiful tower, I can get right from these beautiful little capsules right here. These are the plant-based shakes that I put all of my greens in. And something, so I'm plant-based and I have been for a while. I have some lettuce. That's why it looks a little strange. I cut from the back and it just continues to grow from the front. My chard, more kale. But so what I will say is that this has really developed into a catalyst for healthier choices and better eating. I'm the only plant-based person in my house out of all of us. So a lot of the produce that I would buy at the store, those big containers of lettuce, they go bad really fast. I don't eat them fast enough. So this is the most economical way to not waste food, because whatever I need, I'm just cutting and eating. I'm getting the most nutrient dense food, because just like Adrienne said, things are not as nutrient dense as they once were because I'm literally cutting it and eating it right away or putting it in my shake. And my most favorite part of all of this actually has nothing to do with it. It kind of does have to do with the Tower Garden, but it's the impression it's made on my kids. Because you can see this tiny little pot right here, right? This is from my 10-year-old daughter. Now that she sees me growing in my dining room, she is inspired to grow anything. Anything that we eat that has a seed, she tries to grow it. We've tried to grow, she does everything. This is a lemon right too. So we'll see if that turns into a lemon tree, but it's just, it's making these small changes in ourselves to inspire this upcoming generation, which is the part of the community that I absolutely love the most. And it's simple. I mean, I've grown watermelons on my back porch. I've had cucumbers. I've tried strawberries. I've every kind of green, and they grow. I'm not a professional gardener, but it grows. So thank you so much for letting me share my tower with you. And I am going to pass you over to my friend Jessie.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Lindsay and Adrienne and Emily. Thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of this call and sharing my story. So like Lindsay said, my name is Jessie. I live in New Jersey as well. I am a nutrition coach and I'm an OCR athlete, but it wasn't always like that for me. In my 20s, I had no energy. I had painful and severe acne, and I was diagnosed with PCOS. I was embarrassed to leave the house, and I felt like I couldn't take a picture without makeup because it was so bad. I felt unattractive, and I had, like I said, I had no energy, and I just couldn't believe that this was going to be my life because I was only 22 years old. And then when someone shared with me some info about a plant-based diet, I really decided that it couldn't hurt to try it. So I decided to, start making some of those changes in my diet. And I saw so many incredible improvements, you guys. My energy was better. My skin improved. I was able to reverse my PCOS, which means, I was no longer, losing hair. I was no longer bedridden with periods, and I was no longer embarrassed, for going on dates. I felt attractive again. And needless to say, I was a true believer when it came to the power of plants. Not only, I know that not everybody is willing to make those kinds of, changes that I made. So, when I really learned about this really simple way to get an incredible amount of nutrition into my body every single day, not only was it something that I wanted for myself, but I could see how it could, really benefit everyone around me. And I knew, I can offer this as an incredible solution to all of those people who I know, want better health, who, want to have hope for their future, and who are just sick and tired of, living the way they've been living, but just don't know where to start. So this is just a really, really easy place to start, you guys. Since I've added these plant concentrates, my health has come even further. I have so much more energy than I ever did. I get sick way less often. And my favorite part is I get to work from home and share, what we do and inspire healthy living with others. And I get to work in this amazing community with these incredible women on this call, just like, Lindsay and Emily. And I'm really just blessed to be able to, to do this. It's a dream come true. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm trying to unplug my computer here so I can walk over to my tower garden with you. Hang tight. I'm going to show you guys what I'm growing over here. So I actually have 2 tower gardens. I grow indoors and outdoors, so pretty much all year round. We have 2 different tower gardens. We have the home version, and then we have the flex version. And I have both. And if you can tell where I am, I'm actually in my office. So they're both sitting here against the windows of my office here. So one is taller, as you can see, because I have the extension kit on the flex. So I'll start with that one, I guess, and show you what I have on here. But I have I'm growing all kinds of peppers. I have tomatoes here. I've done peppers and tomatoes before, so I know those do really, really well. I'll show you my secret. So, with anything, it's with pollination, you need pollination. Usually with outdoors, you have bees. If you're growing indoors, there are ways around it. Some people will use a Q-tip or a fan or shake it. I have my favorite way, it's the easiest way, I think, is with an electric toothbrush. So you can find me in here. My husband laughs at me because he'll find me in here like a crazy lady, when they're flowering and just kind of, pollinating the plants in my robe in the morning. So no, but yeah, it's really easy. It's such a fun thing to do, you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like I come in here and just kind of, take it all in. It's very peaceful in here. It's relaxing with the water, seeing all your plants growing. Anyway, let's see what else. So this is my first time doing cucumbers. We're going to see how they do with everything else that I'm growing, because I have tomatoes and peppers as well in here. So we'll see how they do. Last winter, I did beefsteak tomatoes and peppers all winter long. They did really well. I have buckwheat growing for the first time. Apparently, they're a really good microgreen, and they're really healthy for you. I have a ton of microgreens, kale. I have radicchio growing. I think that's what that's called. These are all my lettuces here. As you can see, like I totally I cut the whole thing off and we do a whole big salad with it. But the whole thing, you'll see, it just kind of grows back. Let me see. I have one here that's kind of slowly coming back. If you can see, I'll cut them and they just come back. So I'm just, I have endless amounts of lettuce. It's incredible. These are all my microgreens down here. This is the home edition. So I have everything from cilantro, clovers. I even think I have oregano and lemongrass growing. I have sorrel, which is one of my favorites. My friend Lindsay actually introduced me to this sorrel. It tastes like a sweet tart. It's so good. And it'll get kids to eat lettuce too. So it's perfect. So my favorite part about the Tower Garden, you guys, obviously we eat a lot of plants because we're plant-based, but have never had such fresh veggies. You guys, I'm spoiled rotten now because I don't want to go to the grocery store if we run out here. So I have so much kale, I end up freezing it all year round and using it for my smoothies. And it's the best, you guys, it's the best. It pays for itself 10 times over. It makes sense. Why wouldn't you do it? I love them. I want more. I love, and another part of what we do, sorry, I have to add this too, and this mission is helping others, share what we do. And I love that I have a friend that Tower Gardens are big for her. She actually is trying to get the Tower Garden to Haiti and is feeding her community with the Tower Garden. And I'm going to give you a shout out, Amanda, but her dream is to have this huge greenhouse of 50 Tower Gardens and to feed her, community and pastors. And I love that we get to inspire healthy living like that and give back to the world. So that's my story. So, and I'm going to pass it back to Emily.
I was just tagging a friend on the live video because she her sister adopted from Haiti, and Haiti's just so close to home. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're putting a Tower Garden in Haiti. I got chills. I love that. Okay, well, all of you guys are so amazing. I love every single story. They're so unique. Of course, they're sharing they're using their Tower Gardens in so many different ways. So thank you to all three of you for taking your time to share with us tonight. And I just could stay here all night. I love this community. And maybe you've never grown anything before. I promise you, if we can do it, you can do it. There's an entire community, and I'll talk about that in a second. So before we close tonight, I want you guys to think about one thing. I want to leave you with a thought. So you may be thinking, how powerful is whole food? Why are these people adding greens to their smoothies? Am I supposed to be eating more? Like we have these capsules. There's so many ways to get more nutrition in, but I think if you don't know the why behind it, it can, leave you feeling like you just don't know what you don't know. And that's where all four of us were, I'm sure, at some point. We just didn't know what we didn't know. But when we found this amazing community, we just started to learn. So I want to ask you guys a question. And I think I saw there's over 40, close to 50 people on the live right now. So let's pretend we're all in a room. And I want you guys to think about one single fresh, amazing red apple that you just picked from a tree. And I want you guys to guess how many components, nutrients, phytonutrients, minerals, vitamins are in that one apple. So if you think about a standard multivitamin that you find on the shelf, it probably has maybe, 20, 30, one a day, 20 to 30 different vitamins, if a good one. So think about that multivitamin. How many do you think are in an apple, in one single apple? Think big. I don't have my phone pulled up, but hopefully you guys are guessing or maybe thinking in your head. So in one single apple, so this goes for all whole food, but I'm just using apple as an example tonight. In one single apple, there is, for the lack of you guys being in the room, there is, let's see if I can do this. Allie does this so good. This is a lot of little, so many. Oh my goodness, you guys. They have found over 20,000 minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, little things that go when you eat that apple that are delivered in your body. So if you imagine our apples having a whole food label or the back of a bag of frozen broccoli or fresh blueberries, whatever, we're still discovering what's in whole food. So don't underestimate the amount of good things that you can put in your body. They are making a difference. And every single time you eat food, your body delivers it where it needs to go, and it sends a signal. My mom could probably give you a really good biology lesson on this, and I'm not going to go into that, but don't underestimate the good foods you're eating. And that's really what we're all about. We're not about being perfect. None of us are perfect. We are just here to give you a simple way to add more of those good things in your body. So hopefully that inspired you. I know everyone leaves an event saying, I will never forget the crazy rollout. And now we're not in a room. We would wrap it all around the room. Now we're on Zoom. So I just throw it up and look like a crazy person. So we've got electric toothbrushes. We're throwing paper everywhere, and we're just having fun. So here's the thing, throughout this week, I think until next Sunday, until the end of the month, we are going to be sharing other parts of our healthy living community in this Facebook event. Like I said, over 700 people have been invited. So keep inviting, keep adding your people. You will see even more people throughout the week share their Tower Gardens, where they're at in their basements, their backyards, even in their classroom. My mom's going to share an amazing video that she has. The news came in and interviewed her, and it's just a really inspiring video. Maybe you can pass it along to a teacher friend. And of course, there are plenty of ways to include your friends and your family and your local community in on your gardening journey. If you're brand new, or maybe you've been around for a little bit, we invite you to add anyone into this page, or maybe someone you thought of tonight. So also keep in mind, if you are growing with us or deciding you want to grow with the Tower Gardens, there is an amazing Tower Garden recipe cookbook that gives you lots of good ideas. We'll get back with the person who invited you. They can send that to you. And then there's a really amazing Facebook event that you can learn more. It's called Tower to Table. It's a Facebook group. There are, I think, over 10,000 or I don't know, 20,000 people in there. There's so many people that can support you. It's not just us. There are so many people all across the globe growing on their Tower Gardens. And there's recipes for families, for freshly picked produce, letting younger family members at home plant a new crop. Like Lindsay said, it goes beyond just the food you're eating. It really does plant the seed in little ones' heads just about where our food comes from. And I think my mom said this, or maybe it's Stephen Ritz, but they're more likely to eat it if they grow it. So there's so much impact that's happening with our Tower Garden. And I know in the Midwest, hopefully spring is coming soon, but don't wait for temperatures to warm up. You can start your Tower Garden inside. Right now with the light kit makes it so easy. And like Jessica and Lindsay both showed, it's like a peaceful little meditation corner you can have in your house or your apartment. And there's some really fun ways that you can grow. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this initial launch panel to our event. Like I said, it's open until the end of the month, so add anyone into this page. Thank you to thank the person who invited you into this event. And thank you, Jessica and Lindsay and Mom, Miss Kay, Adrienne. I'm calling you Mom, but I know people are calling you Adrienne. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your Sunday evening to share. You guys are amazing, and I feel so grateful to be a part of this amazing community. So if you guys want to unmute yourselves and tell everyone goodbye, we're going to log off, but thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everybody, for coming.